There was a fierce battle on a planet known as New Vegeta. The planet crumbled and quavered under the pressure of two enormous powers that were fighting. The one known as Goku was about to fall into the hands of the so-called legendary Super Saiyan, but like always the Earth-raised Saiyan managed to come up with a plan to beat the rampaging Saiyan. Goku collected all of the remaining energy from his friends and with that prepared himself to beat the other Saiyan. The legendary Saiyan Broly was laughing evilly at Goku as he was ready to finish the good-hearted Saiyan, but unknown to him, Goku was ready to finish this fight before the meteor could strike the planet. Ha ha ha, you are going to die. Right here and now, Kakarot, laughed Broly as he rushed towards Goku ready to punch him and finish what he started. I will not give up, Broly. I have all the energy from my friends and thanks to them I will beat you, yelled Goku at Broly while he was stuck on the wall. Haha, that won't help you, Kakarot. Now die, yelled Broly with a laugh as he was about to punch Goku, but to his shock, Goku managed to free his right hand from the wall and catch Broly's punch. Broly was shocked even more when he saw that Goku powered you enough to obliterate the whole wall behind his back. I told you I will beat you, Broly, and I could only do it with the help of my friends and family, spoke Goku seriously and punched Broly in the face, sending the giant Saiyan toward the ground. The legendary Saiyan quickly snapped from his shock, furious, not willing to admit that there is someone stronger than him, the legend. Broly stood up and powered up even more, as his golden/green aura flared around him wildly. Kakarot, Kakarot! You are dead! Growled Broly and once again rushed towards Goku, leaving destruction behind him. Goku didn't want to waste any second and launched himself at the large Saiyan, determined to finish this fight once and for all. Sorry, Broly, but I can't let you have it your way. I really wish you were different. You would make a great sparring partner. Hiya! Yelled Goku, who suddenly appeared in front of Broly, surprising the legendary Super Saiyan. Before Broly could do something or anything, Goku delivered a powerful punch direct in Broly's gut, piercing through it and sent Broly to fly into the sky screaming in pain. Nah no! Kakarot! Yelled Broly with all of his might, but it ended fast as he exploded in the sky. Goku didn't bother with Broly anymore and quickly rushed towards his friends and family so they could escape from this planet since the meteor was few seconds away. Goku quickly grabbed everyone and with his instant transmission moved in the spaceship in which were Krillin, Master Roshi, and Oolong. The ship was far enough from the planet and it was in no danger from the explosion. The Earth Warriors after a day arrived on Earth and prepared themselves for the Cell Games, which were to be held in 2 days. Days have passed since the battle on the so-called planet New Vegeta, which was no more, and what only remained was nothing but a space dust. Nothing remained alive from that planet except one thing, one being who subconsciously activated an energy shield before the planet exploded. The being was asleep while the energy shield was surrounding him and protecting from any harm, but he didn't have any idea that he was going straight towards a storm. The storm swallowed the being and sent him in one place he surely never heard of. It was a beautiful day in Water 7, the sun was bright and with little clouds in the sky. Everything was peaceful after the incident with Straw Hat Pirates, CP9, and also with the huge wave Aqua Laguna. Everybody in town was repairing their home or helping the others. The Straw Hats were now the top news in town after what they've done in Eni's lobby and with the truth that they didn't try to kill the mayor of the town, Iceberg. Little did everyone know that a dangerous being was about to land in their town. While everybody was consumed with repairs and works, nobody noticed that something was falling down from the sky. The thing landed on a deserted beach, creating a small crater beneath his body. The being with mid-long black messy hair slowly opened his eyes as the bright sun and the waves from the sea woke him up. He slowly managed to change his position and sit while he scanned his body. To his great surprise, his wounds were almost all healed, only a few scars were visible on his chest and on the stomach where he was punched by Goku. He placed his right hand on the almost healed wound and tried to remember what happened. He knew why he couldn't remember anything that happened. Every time he transformed into the legendary Super Saiyan, he was completely out of control and couldn't remember anything. It's the same thing as with the Ozara transformation, he never had any control or any memory. But there was always his father controlling him, manipulating him with that stupid device and ordering him around like he was some kind of puppet. He searched with his eyes to see if his father was here, but there was no sight of him when suddenly Broly remembered. He could remember now, how his father tried to run away in his space pod and leave his only son at the mercy of the meteor, but he stopped his father and crushed him inside his pod and ended the coward's life. Broly had mixed feelings about this memory. Yes, his father used him for his own purposes and always ordered him around and yelled at him, yet he was the man who was his father. Broly quickly snapped from this memory as he punched the ground, causing it to tremble. The Saiyan stood up from the ground ready to walk away and see if there were people here when another memory hit him. This time, it was the moment when he was beaten and almost killed by Kakarot. In his memory, he could hear what the kind Saiyan said, and Broly only gritted his teeth at that. Broly wondered if Goku was even alive. From what he remembered, the meteor was about to destroy the planet on which they were fighting on. Broly's thoughts were cut by his stomach growl. The tall Saiyan noticed that he didn't eat anything in a while, so he decided to walk towards the block of buildings and find something to eat on the shore not very far away from the place where the Straw Hats were recuperating from their fights. One man was walking by the shore with his right hand on the sword and with the other in his pocket. He was walking back to the place where they had been gathered when something caught his attention on the ground. Huh? What's that? He thought as he walked closer and to his surprise saw a big hole on the ground. What the hell happened here? This is a big hole, said the surprised swordsman out loud as he examined the hole. Well, whatever it is, I don't care. Better go back to the others, concluded the green-haired man and walked back towards the house where his friends were resting. Meanwhile, Broly walked into the streets of the city and was surprised that the people here looked quite similar to his race. He could feel that they were very weak, and that was one thing he despised the most, the weak. That thought quickly vanished from his mind when he picked a scent of food not too far from where he was. The Saiyan started to walk faster, not caring for the people in front of him. Some people were even tossed in the sea by the force of the Saiyan, but Broly didn't bother with that. His mind and stomach were after food, and he was sure to get his food. He could smell the food better now, which made him positive that he was on the right track. He walked few meters straight when he stopped near the corner to see if he was going in the right way. He smelled with his nose where to go next, and he could tell that the food was just behind the corner. He walked on the left, and what first caught his attention was a lot of people in front of a house, but the Saiyan snapped from it when he smelled that the food was just here, where he was standing. Broly could tell that this was some kind of a shop since the food was out and ready for sale. The Saiyan didn't even bother to look at the man who was staring at him while he tried to tell something. "Hello, sir. Do you want to buy something today?" asked the owner politely to the Saiyan, who didn't even heard the man because of how eager he was to eat all the food. "Sir, can you hear me? If you don't have money to pay for the food, then I must ask you to leave," stated the owner, this time louder enough for the Saiyan to hear him. But the Saiyan's expression only darkened at the man who yelled at him in the place where the pirates were resting. Everybody was shocked by some news they heard, but they quickly snapped when they heard and saw that somebody was cutting the Marines in the courtyard. "Huh, what's happening outside?" asked Garp as he looked outside the hole that he made with his strong punch. "Oh, look, it's Zoro," said Luffy with a big smile on his face and waved towards the swordsman who already defeated almost all the Marines. "Don't cut the Marines, idiot. They are not here to catch us," yelled Sanji angrily at Zoro, who immediately stopped when he heard the last part and put away his two swords. All right then, and who do you call an idiot?" yelled Zoro furiously at Sanji as he walked in the house when he noticed an old man near him. "And who is this?" asked the swordsman as he pointed his left index finger towards the older man. "Well, that's Vice Admiral Garp, and he's also Luffy's grandfather," explained Robin, still surprised by the news she heard today about her captain origins. "Really?" asked Zoro, who was a little bit surprised to hear that Luffy's grandfather was a Marine and a Vice Admiral. "Yeah, I guess I forgot to tell all of you that," haha, laughed Luffy, who was quickly punched from behind by an annoyed Nami. "Ouch. Now that we heard what you said, Gramps, when will you leave? I just arrived here and you want your grandfather to leave? What kind of a grandson are you?" yelled Garp as he grabbed Luffy by his shirt collar. "You are the one who come here and started to beat me, old man," yelled Luffy back, only to see that his grandfather was about to punch him when all of them heard a loud scream from the outside. Few moments before somebody screamed. Broly dangerously glanced at the man who yelled at him and ordered him to go away. No one ever dared to do something like that to him, and this little, old, weak fool was ordering him around. Broly smirked at the man, who sweated a little in fear because of the look on Broly's face. Please, sir, if you don't have money, go and look someplace else," said the owner, this time quietly, but Broly kept smirking while with his hand picked a piece of meat that was ready for sale and eat it in one bite. "This is good. I will eat all of it," spoke Broly quietly so that the owner could barely hear him. The owner looked shocked as he saw that the Saiyan was eating all of his meat, which was supposed to be for sale. The owner snapped from his shock and ran away from the food, and Broly, who didn't even bother to look where the weak man went, the owner approached the Marines who were in the garden of a house where their vice admiral was. He told to the two Marines what was going on, and they decided to help the old man. They quickly approached the shop and saw that almost everything was eaten by the tall Saiyan. "Hey you, big guy," called one of the Marines as he walked close to Broly while his partner was right near him and the owner behind them, smiling at the thoughts how they will beat the man who ate all of his food. Broly glanced at the man who called him with one eye and only smirked at the two men in front of him, weaklings. He looked at the man behind them and saw him smiling. The Saiyan figured that the man probably called this planet authority for what he has done, which caused Broly only to chuckle at this. As he put the last piece of meat in his mouth, he said something, "You freak. Now put your hands down and come with us. You are under arrest, you thief," ordered the other Marine as he aimed his rifle at Broly. The Saiyan looked at the man who was aiming at him and was irritated by this. Stupid weakling threatening him while he was eating. Oh, he will pay. Imagine Broly as he slowly put his hands down and only smirked at the three-man. "Good, now come closer," but slowly ordered the Marine, on which Broly smirked even more, but he did what the man said. He slowly approached them and was in front of the two Marines. The Marine on the right side was about to put handcuffs on Broly when the Saiyan grabbed the man's hand and started to squeeze it. The man yelled in pain, after which he fell down on his knees and tried to break free, but nothing. "Hey, leave him, you freak! Now or I will shoot you!" yelled the Marine on the left, who immediately aimed at Broly. The tall Saiyan smirked at the man and squeezed the hand of the other Marine even more, making the man on the ground scream in pain. "You asked for this!" yelled the standing Marine and fired at Broly. The bullet hit Broly right on his chest, but it did nothing, it just bounced back completely smashed. The Marine and the owner were shocked by this and didn't have any idea what to do. Broly at that moment let go of the Marine he was holding, since he knew that the weak man was no longer conscious. The other Marine gulped in fear and didn't know what to do while the owner screamed in fear and run away. Broly saw that the man run away, but he would not let him escape after what he had done. "Coward," said Broly, who caught the Marine attention, but to the young Marine shock, the tall Saiyan disappeared. The Marine looked right and left to see where Broly went when he heard another loud scream, but this time from behind. He turned around only to see Broly holding the owner by his throat. "You brought this upon yourself. Now die," spoke Broly coldly as he was about to suffocate the owner when he heard a voice coming from his left. "Hold it, big guy. Why don't you leave this man alone and have a talk with me," said the Vice Admiral Garp as he cracked his fists.